this video I'm going to show you how to make a scrap cap with ponytail pouch. If you want a digital copy of a pattern to scale so you can print it and cut out, send me an email or click the link at the top on the right to go to Etsy. Only your fantasy and your taste is the limit. Here you see 4 different cups done beautifully and looking nicely on this young woman. You can do the same thing. You can create a beautiful scrap cap with ponytail pouch for yourself. You would not need any bias tape or ribbon to do that. I will show you how. You will need paper to make the pattern. All measurements are in inches. 13 inches of cotton fabric with standard 44-inch width. You would also need 6 inches of elastic braided tape, thread of color matching one of your fabric colors, and please wash, dry and iron fabric before you start cutting. Make your paper pattern using measurements in inches. Here there are 4 parts laid out on the screen. Side of cap with measurements, top of cap with measurements, back side of ponytail pouch with measurements, and casing for elastic band. Measurements are provided as well. I start with the side part of my cap. First I fold fabric along this edge. Then I place short side of cap on fold in the fabric. Then, using pencil or pen of contrasting color to fabric, I trace a line on fabric around the edges of the paper pattern and a spot where you will start ironing down fabric. The black dash on curvy line of side part of your scrap cap. Remember, you need 2 layers of fabric only for side of the cap. You need only 1 layer of fabric for top of cap, back side of ponytail pouch, and casing of elastic tape. You see all 3 of those parts of the pattern on the right side of the fabric. You see half of the side of the cap on the wrong side of the fabric. There is still fold there. This is how pieces of scrap cap should look like once cut out. 2 layers of fabric for the side part of your scrap cap, and 1 layer for top part with ponytail pouch, and 1 layer for elastic tape casing. Red arrows show stress points of the scrap cap that need to be reinforced on both side part and top part of it. To do that, you will need to fold fabric using hot iron and stitch it through using zigzag pattern using the following steps. First, take the side part of your cap. On the wrong side of it, iron down fabric using hot iron on back ends of side part of the cap. I mark them by pins with pink balls. Fold that curvy part 1 more time and iron it down again. The mark is about 1.5 inches from ties. Now iron down 1/4 inch of fabric along bottom of side part and around ties. Fold ties in half lengthwise and iron it down. Continue that fold at the bottom of the side part. Iron it down as well. This is a closer look at curvy folds of side of cap ironed down twice. Ties are folded in half lengthwise, and that fold continues at the bottom of side part. This is how back curves of side part of scrap cap should look like after you apply zigzag stitch to secure fabric folds you created in the previous step. I use a little trick to make ends of ties not as bulky and looking nice. I iron down 1 long side of 1 tie first. Then I fold down short side of that tie. After that, I iron down the other long side of the same tie. I repeat the same process on the second tie. The next step is to interlock fabric folds on short ends of both ties before stitching through them in a couple more steps. Now fabric folds at the end of each tie are interlocked. To finish preparing side part of your scrap cap, so it looks like you see in this image, you need to make a seam using zigzag stitch to secure sides of ties together and wide fold to side part of the scrap cap. I will show you in more detail how to do it next. Place your scrap cap right side down and start your zigzag seam at beginning of one of the tie and finish at the end of that tie. Now start stitching wide fold to the side of cap, starting at the same spot as the previous step. At the end of carry part of side cap was stitched through fold. Finish stitching through wide fold on bottom side of the cap and finish your seam at the corner of the other tie. Note how folds are interlocked to create clean look. On the right, the red arrow is pointed at it. Next step is reinforcing stress points on the top part of your scrap cap. On the wrong side of the top part of the cap, mark places where you will start fabric fold 1 inch to the left and to the right from the point where you will later attach ponytail pouch. I put pins in those spots. Now fold fabric using hot iron. This is a closer look at 1/4 inch folds you need to iron down in stress points of your scrap cap for durability, and a fold at the top of ponytail pouch on the right. Now make a seam using zigzag stitch to attach fabric folds to the cap itself. This is how sides of top part of your scrap cap should look like after you apply zigzag stitch to secure fabric folds you created in the previous step. Even closer look. Now you need to make a fold in ponytail side of your top part. It is 7 inches away from the end of it. You need to put right side to right side of your top part of your scrap cap with corners of back side of ponytail pouch overlapping top part of the scrap cap at about 1/4 inch. Make straight stitch 3/8 of an inch from the edge of fabric and finish at the fabric fold at the end of ponytail pouch. Use zigzag stitch to secure edges of ponytail pouch where you just applied straight stitch to give that side of pouch finished look. I always cut off excess fabric after I attach edges of fabric together by a zigzag stitch for a clean look. The next step is folding 1/4 inch of fabric on all 4 sides of the long piece of fabric that we're going to use to create a casing for elastic tape. In this step, prepare a spot for elastic tape casing by ironing down the seam between top part of cap and back side of ponytail pouch in a way that top part of cap stays flat, but back side of ponytail pouch is folded away from the seam to the other side of the seam, down in this image. Now flip the top part of cap wrong side up. You have already prepared the future casing for elastic tape. It will go along the free edge of back side of ponytail pouch and across top part of cap, just like you see in the next image. Long side of elastic tape casing should be aligned with the edge of ponytail pouch, top side of the image, and right at the mark on the top part you made before enforcing stress points where you see a purple arrow in this image. Short ends of the casing should be 1/4 inch away from edges of top side of cap and back side of ponytail pouch. My casing for elastic tape ended up needing to be about 9 7/8 of an inch, so I made it shorter and re-ironed short ends of it before securing it to the top part with pins. You see it done on the left. Use zigzag stitch to secure each long side of casing to the top part of cap and back part of ponytail pouch with 2 separate seams. Leave short ends of casing open. You will thread elastic tape through it at the last step of making this scrap cap. In this step, make a seam using straight stitch on the other side of ponytail pouch, making sure that free edges of top side of cap and back side of ponytail pouch meet, while the edge with elastic tape casing overlaps the zigzag stitch and force curve top side of cap about 1/4 inch. I marked it by red arrow. The next steps already done here are: make straight stitch connecting back and front sides of ponytail pouch together, marked by purple arrows. Very important, straight stitch should not run across short ends of elastic tape casing. They should be free. I marked that by red arrows and used safety pins to draw your attention and help you understand what I mean by leaving them free, so that you can thread your elastic tape later. Use zigzag stitch to secure edges of front and back sides together. Mark that with blue arrows. This is for giving your scrap cap a really clean look. Safety pins should easily fit from both ends of elastic tape casing, like you see in the left and right images. I simply wanted you to see exactly how it would look on your scrap cap when casing is stitched to the cap properly, and the straight seam connecting back and front sides of ponytail pouch does not run over the casing. Find middle of side part of scrap cap, marked by red arrow. Now find middle of top part of scrap cap, another red arrow. Put these two parts together, right sides toward one another, connecting middles and ends of side part of cap, marked by blue arrows, 1/2 inch from ends of side part, narrow ends, with spots on top part of cap where casing for elastic tape is stitched to the top part of cap, marked by purple arrows. In this image, middles are connected by a pin with big red ball, and red arrow is pointed at it. And ends of side part of cap are connected to the top part of cap by pins with pink and blue balls, and blue arrows are pointing at them. Pin the rest of side part to the top part of the cap together with 1/2 inch between the pins. About 8.5 inch of your tie should be free after you pin the top part to the side part of your cap together. I folded both ties to let you see where the seam connecting top and side parts of your scrap cap should stop, at the very right pins in this image. Now stitch top part and side part of cap together, starting at one of pins at tie, toward the pin in the middle with big red ball. The seams should be 1/2 inch from the edge of the fabric. Finish the seam at the last pin on the other side. You are using straight stitch. This is how your scrap cap will look like once you do both straight and zigzag seams connecting top and side parts of the cap. In this step, thread elastic tape with safety pins on both ends, one of them to keep the end of elastic tape under control so it doesn't get lost in the casing. So you thread it through the casing. When the first safety pin is out of the casing at the other end of it, pull both ends of elastic tape at the same time, so about 1.5 inches of it is out of the casing, and remove safety pins. Place ends of elastic tape over one another so they overlap about 1/2 inch. Use zigzag stitch to secure elastic tape ends together. The ends of your elastic tape are now fixed together, and you can pull the casing so your elastic tape is completely inside it. Turn ponytail pouch out to the right side. Congratulations! This is your finished cap. This is how your cap looks from the front and back, with the ties free and tied together. So this is the end of the scrap cap with ponytail pouch tutorial. If you want a digital copy of a pattern to scale so you can print it and cut out, send me an email. These are more beautiful caps. Thank you so much for watching.